Hey, yo, what's up? And welcome to the Daily Boost hosted by my community Love and Action Network, LIA Network, who you can find more about here at this site that I'm showing right now, lovedandlovable.org. I repeat, you can find out more about us and my community, Love and Action Network, at lovedandlovable.org. The whole point of the Daily Boost and our mission is to encourage, equip, and empower each other with the knowledge that we are loved and lovable and that we can, give ourselves the tools to get through our day to day. The various sources that we use include 52 Weeks of Conscious Contact by Melody Beatty. Um, I believe I'm saying her name right. Beatty? Yeah, Melody Beatty. And also the 7 day chakra system. The 7 day chakra. I said 7 day chakra system. 7 day chakra challenge. I'm sorry. We do the 7 day chakra challenge. Sunday starting with the root chakra, and Saturday starting with what's it called? The crown chakra. Today we'll be focusing on, which today's Friday, by the way, but we will be focusing on the third eye chakra. Don't mind me. I have various things floating above my head and advertisements and stuff, but I just like to put people's ats and names down for marketing purposes. Hold on, let me move this chat out the way a little bit so I can make sure I can read that. Yep. I was trying to read like through the chat. I was trying to read through it. But after I get done typing this stuff in, I'm going to go ahead and start the day off with the third eye chakra, talking about that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add the others and just say the others as we go. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Put like that on X or Twitter. Oh yeah. Okay. Oops. I spelled that wrong too. All right, but we will go ahead and start with the throat chakra. Not throat chakra. I'm just saying everything wrong today, guys. Yesterday and today, I've just had trouble keeping things straight. I called the throat chakra. I said the yesterday the throat chakra's affirmation was I see. I was already in tomorrow, and now today I'm in yesterday calling the throat chakra the third eye chakra, or the third eye chakra the throat chakra. But today is about the third eye chakra. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. It's the sixth day. It's the sixth day. It's the sixth day. Um, so the third eye chakra is the sixth chakra, obviously, sixth day, sixth chakra. The third eye chakra is associated with our sixth sense. It is the center of our wisdom, spiritual insight, and intuition. When the third eye chakra is out of harmony, we only focus on our intellect and reject all spiritual aspects of ourselves. And by the way, guys, you don't absolutely have to be spiritual or believe in the chakras or believe in, whether you believe in God or not. You can still use a lot of these tools or what we'll be talking about in your day to day. So don't get it twisted or anything like that. Here at Love and Action Network, we really do not care about what your affiliation is. To be honest, it's in a certain shape, way, form, and capacity. You always need people with different, differentiating opinions. It's okay to have a different opinion, and I think people forget about that because social media is so focused on who's right and wrong. Who cares about who's right and wrong? We still don't have all the knowledge in the world, which is kind of what we're going to be talking today a little bit too. But we do not know the be all end all. As humans, we probably never will. But anyway, um, when the third eye chakra is out of harmony, let me just go ahead and repeat that. We focus only on our intellect and reject all spiritual aspects of ourselves. We do not trust nor are aware of our intuition, are only able to see the physical reality in life, and carry a lot of fear in regard to our inner wisdom. A lot of us seem to have stopped believing in our own wisdom too. In like just what you inherently know. Let's say you believe that you can do something, but because somebody else says it's probably going to be hard, or you see somebody else struggling, or you yourself are struggling to complete it, you just stop believing in it. If you know you, because at the end of the day, we can do whatever we choose to do, but what we choose to do most likely is going to take a lot of effort. And but you know if something's too much for you or it's not needed, so it's all right. Um, when the third eye chakra is in harmony, we invite our intuition and awareness into everyday aspects of life. We trust our inner wisdom, our inner vision, I'm sorry, and act upon what our intuition tells us, which makes it stronger. We have a deep knowing beyond what we can physically see and are even in touch with our clairvoyance, the gift of taking in intuitive information through sight and vision. Kitty Berger knows all about the gift of taking in intuitive information through our sight and vision. I mean, look at him. He knows. He knows. Um, the location of the third eye chakra is between the eyebrows, so about right here between the eyebrows. I mean, some people say it's like right directly right here. Other people say it's like kind of right here in between your forehead. It's still in between the eyebrows. So I mean, I I'd say it's probably like somewhere like right there. But anyway, the color specifically for the third chakra is indigo. So I don't know if you can cheat and say purple. I don't know if you can magenta. It says the color is indigo. You could probably cheat and say purple, but for the sake of the book, it says the third eye chakra's color is indigo. So look for something indigo in your room. If you're wearing indigo, if you're driving, and don't look around for indigo if you're driving. Don't do that. Keep your eyes. Hey, if you see something ahead of you that's indigo, be my guest, but don't be looking over here while you're driving. Okay, it's good. It's good. Check those mirrors. Check those mirrors. Isn't indigo like a bluish purple? Yeah, it's almost like a dark blue. It You think you can call it purple? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Most people say you can just call that purple, but it's like it really seems bluish when you see indigo. Like you think it's like a dark blue, but it's purple. It, like Tara's saying, it's purple. The affirmation, as I've said, is I see. The affirmation is I see. The glands that are involved in the third eye chakra are only one gland. It's the pineal gland. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the pineal gland. I feel like most people think the third eye chakra is just this mystical thing, but it also is influenced by the pineal gland, which is a scientific thing. So we'll talk about that a little bit. The pineal gland is a part of the endocrine system, which releases and creates hormones. The endocrine system. I'm gonna spell that over here. That's ENDOCRINE system. The endocrine system or endocrine system. I think it's endocrine. It's one of the two, guys. It's one of the two. I can't. I'm not sure. But the endocrine system releases and creates hormones to maintain countless bodily functions. You have more than 50 hormones, and they affect nearly all aspects of your health directly or indirectly. Examples would be metabolism, which is converting food and drink into energy. Homeostasis, which is the body's way of keeping internal systems stable and balanced despite its external environment. For example, like when you're cold, your body tries to keep its temperature stay warm. That's just internal, its internal clock, just about. Um, what did I say? Homeostasis. Okay, homeostasis, growth and development, sexual function, reproduction, wake, sleep cycle, and mood. So that's what the endocrine system controls. But specifically about the pineal gland, it's a small gland located within the brain. I think it's like more like in the front of the brain, like kind of in this area. Well, not like like in the front of the brain, like literally in this area, but like somewhere like inside there towards the front. Uh, I got off track. Located within the brain, the pineal gland is activated by neurons connected to your eyes. When these nerves are activated by light, the pineal gland is repressed. And when nighttime comes and the light reaches your eyes, and and the light reaching your eyes decreases, the pineal gland becomes activated. If that didn't make sense or I was rambling, the pineal gland secretes melatonin, a hormone which activates our sleep cycle, just to be a little bit more clear. By releasing this hormone when it gets dark, the pineal gland helps your body coordinate for sleeping. This includes changing your respiratory rate, brain patterns, and even digestive patterns. So that was just a little blurb about the pineal gland. Let me pull this back out here. Let me pull it back out. Physical body parts that are affected by the third eye chakra include, but are not limited to, the brain, nervous system, eyes, ears, and nose. So it pretty much controls your senses. Darn near all of them, I'd say. If not, no, literally all of them. It's all of them. um, the life lesson of the I keep calling it the throat chakra. Guys, I got 2 days. I got Thursday and Friday to do, and I keep and I keep confusing the two. The third eye chakra's life lesson is to use insight and intuition to see past the physical. To use insight and intuition to see past the physical. Physical dysfunctions are brain tumors, hemorrhages, stroke, neurological disturbances, blindness, deafness, full spinal difficulties, learning disabilities, seizures, headaches, and blurred vision. Mental and or emotional issues that are involved in the third eye chakra are included but not limited to self-evaluation, truth, intellectual abilities, feelings of inadequacy, openness to the ideas of others, ability to learn from experience, emotional intelligence, and oh, that's it. And emotional intelligence. I was about to read it twice. Possible causes of energy blocks include a lack of trust in your own intuition and one's intuition. If you're a crystal person, the crystals that are involved or related to the third eye chakra are lapis lazuli, amethyst, fluorite, lepidolite, sugilite, or sugilite. I think it's sugilite. Tanzanite, clear quartz, star sapphire, and kyanite. So that was our little blurb about the 7 day chakras and how the third eye chakra, goodness gracious, how the third eye chakra is involved in all of that. So now we'll get into our reading about Melody Beatty. And we will get that figured out. I think one of my streams went down or something. I can't tell. It might be a problem with Facebook, or it might be X. It could be X. Which one of them went down? I'm not sure which one went down. Hey, Andre, how's it going? That's Dr. Flo. You can find out more about him at Andre and the Flow. He's the CEO of Love and Action Network. Thanks for stopping by, Dr. Flo. Thanks for stopping by. I was just seeing if one of my streams went down because it was acting weird, but I think it's okay. I think it is a-okay. So yes, now we will get into our reading with 52 Weeks of Conscious Contact by Melody Beatty. We are now on day 6. Yesterday we had a action. Every day we have something different. It is week 10 within the Melody Beatty book, and week 10, I can't speak today. And week 10 is, no, I can't speak today. I don't want to speak that on myself. We talked about yesterday how the throat chakra, you can't be speaking things on yourself, no matter how small. I don't care if you think it's corny. I think being negative is cornier. I'm just gonna put that out there. But every day there's a different type of focus. And today is a gratitude focus, actually. But I think I said week 10. We're in week 10. The whole theme of week 10 is nurturing. The whole theme of week 10 is nurturing. I might have glazed over that just for a second there. But I will go ahead and get into the reading from Melody Beatty for day 6. She always kind of hits home, so if you feel offended, it's because she's talking about you, and it's okay. It's okay. We can all do better. Sometimes she comes for the neck. She comes for the neck. Um, she says she ran a small stand halfway up the mountain I was climbing in China. She didn't speak much English, and I didn't speak Chinese. She didn't just slam a cup of coffee in front of me. She gently put it down and smiled. Then she pointed to the sunrise, helping me notice how beautiful it was. On my way down the mountain late at night, when I arrived at her shop, she smiled and let me know how genuinely happy she was that I had made it back safe. I wonder how people, I wonder how many people this is already, the message has gone over their head, because I would, I wonder if the message has gone over, but because she's already kind of, hitting a general point here, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. She smiled and let me know how genuinely happy she was that I had made it back safe. Then she pulled out a chair and brought out a special treat, some kind of nut that I had never tasted, have never before tasted, and shared the delicacy with me. She didn't ask. She just did those things. Tender, loving care might not change our world, but it sure turns it into a nicer place. That reminds me, ceasefire now. That reminds me. If you're not calling for a ceasefire in your heart, ceasefire worldwide, what are you doing? 10,000 people got in the blink of an eye, and it's absolutely ridiculous that nobody's talking about it, really. Well, people are talking about it, but it's not being addressed, and nobody cares about it. But, well, I won't say nobody cares about it. The right people aren't caring about it and doing anything about it, but I'm going to keep talking about it until something gets done with it. Every time I come up here on the mic, ceasefire now. I believe that black people, not too long ago, not even a century ago, I said a century ago. Is that a century? 100 years? I can't even get my math right now, but, not black people not too long ago in the 1900s were in chains and working for somebody else. So there's always injustice in the world. Anywhere is injustice everywhere. Martin Luther King said it best. I might have butchered this quote, but it is what it is. But how many of you, the point of this went over your head? Because, like Melody Beatty said, she didn't ask. She just did those things. Tender loving care might not change our world, but it sure turns into a nicer place. It might not change it, but we can make sections of, sanctuary if need be. If the world becomes a hateful place, we can make our little tents of sanctuary somewhere, somehow. Just spread them wide. I feel like a lot of us, just from taking from this blurb, I feel a lot of us don't really, like, for lack of a better term, like she says, looks out to the sunrise to help notice how beautiful it was. We don't look at the little things and notice how beautiful they are. We're so focused, because I'm gonna ask you guys questions a little bit, and this kind of goes into one of the questions, so you're gonna hear this twice. But how many of us are looking down the path? We've set this goal, we've set this I'll just call it a goal. We set this goal in motion, this thing that we want to do, and we're so focused on the goal that everything that's around the goal, the people, the beautiful scenery, the seasons changing, we don't care about any of that. We just keep sprinting towards this goal, and we're not taking life for the marathon that it is. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And I mean, humans always have wanted instant gratification, but the reality of it is that you're more than likely, as a human, especially when you're going out trying to achieve your dreams, trying to achieve your goals, you're not going to get instant gratification. You're going to have to work for it. And that's the marathon I'm talking about. Life is a complete circle. and you're gonna have to keep running that complete circle over and over again. There's not necessarily a finish line until you're no longer a part of the race. But I guess, when you cross the finish line, guess what? You've either Most people are focused on winning or losing. I'd say it's especially in a marathon, most people just are thankful that they've crossed the race. In a sprint, you're worried about winning. In the marathon, you're worried about if you cross the finish line. It don't matter when you did it. It just matters if you cross the finish line. Start thinking of life as a marathon. Cross the finish line. Worry about that. Don't worry about if you're first. I understand a lot of us want to be first in whatever, or the one of the best at something, top 5, top 10, but if you focus more on crossing the finish line, it'll be a lot more fun for you. Life will be a lot more joyful for you, instead of just always looking for that instant gratification, because the instant gratification, you're always going to set yourself up for emotional disappointment and emotional cramps, I like to call them, because you're not exercising your emotions. You're always going to run into emotional cramps don't if you're always focused on what will not happen. I lost my train of thought there, trying to get that analogy out. That I forgot what I even said to get to that analogy. But we'll talk about it later. It'll probably come to me. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. The gratitude focus of today. Let me get to that. The gratitude focus of today. We can be grateful for all the people who have touched our hearts and lives with love. We can be grateful for all the people who have touched our lives, our hearts and lives with love. There's some people that have probably, come in and out of your life, or repeatedly come in and out of your life, that, touch your heart with, touch your hearts and lives with love. And then sometimes maybe not loves comes out of that, and that's why they kind of leave your life, or, whatever. But I at least try to be thankful for everybody that I've met, no matter if it ended bad or good. Like, everything's a lesson. People grow apart sometimes, and that doesn't mean anybody's at fault. And sometimes either you outgrow people, or you outgrow each other, so to speak. You outgrow each other. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, everybody goes through life at a different pace. And that's what I'm talking about. Just focus on getting past the finish line. Everybody has different opinions, how things should go down. Everybody grows at a different rate. And that's kind of part of what I want to talk about today. Where is it? The path of learning is never complete. The path of learning is never, ever, 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 ever. It's never complete. The path of learning is never complete. We don't know everything there is. Some people gain like a certain amount of knowledge, and then they just give up on it. Well, no, I won't say they give up on it. They just feel like there's nothing left to learn. They don't want to learn anything else. I'm not saying you have to read books. I'm not saying you have to do this or that, but don't feel like your information or all that you know is the be all end all, and then have a strong opinion on it. Like, you can't have strong opinions on things and not try to further your own knowledge, especially about the reason why they have you in school do arguments about, against the other side, is not because they want you to just sit there and argue. They want you to research the other side. There's a reason why I feel like people just want to get into arguments rather than prove their point. And I don't really get that. The point of you trying to prove that you're right is to prove the other side incorrect. But I wouldn't even say you necessarily have to do that. If you learn about the other side, you'll learn if you're truly correct or not. They tell you all the time in school, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Nobody really truly likes to do that. Because they clearly, most of the time when you tell somebody to put themselves in other people's shoes, they just kind of look at you like, what do you mean? I can't put myself in their shoes because I'm not them. And it's like, you can't just imagine being them. And some people just don't. Some people don't have that imagination. Some people don't want to Some people just simply don't want to put themselves in somebody else's shoes because they're in their own shoes and they don't have to worry about that. And that's kind of how Palestine and everything has happened. 10,000 people dying for no reason. Ceasefire now. Um, let's see. I guess I'll go into the gameplay and then just give my points, but also, keep it strictly daily boost, especially for the people that are going to be listening to this on podcasts. Kind of get through this. I'll get through this and then I'll get to the gameplay so I can set up the podcast for success. If I have anything to say else about it, I'll run the recording a little bit longer, but I'll probably cut it out. The daily boost recording for the podcast after I say my little blurbs. But as I said, I have to look at it again. The path of learning is never complete. My mind works at 10,000 miles an hour sometimes. It's an egregious exaggeration, but sometimes it flies ahead of itself, and that's part of being patient with yourself. We got to start being patient with ourselves. Be honest, open, and willing to change, especially if you need to change. Some of us haven't realized that we need to change, whether that be in our routine. Your routine has to match your goals. I will say it every time I come on here. Your routine has to match your goals. If your routine isn't matching your goals, you're not going to reach your goals. So stop complaining about not reaching your goals if your routine does not meet them. If your routine does not meet them, it's not going to work out. It's never going to work out. How are you going to set goals for yourself but your routine ain't matching it? You say you want to be a singer. You say you want to be this. You want to be that. Okay. Just like Dr. Flo does every day. He holds a little rehearsal concert every day for his concert on Andre in the Flow on TikTok. He does it every day. I think he gives himself like 1 day break on the weekend sometimes, but he'll still, come in and sing just because. And that's because he has a vision for himself. He has a goal. He has a dream that he wants to complete. So in his goal and routine matches, they match. I said them both already. His goal and his routines match. It makes sense. Every day. Yeah, no, every day. He doesn't even take breaks. I was sure, I don't think he even takes breaks. Even on Love and Action Network days off, he's always working. And, I'm just going to say it right now, we do not get paid for this daily boost. We do not get paid for this. This is volunteer work, and I will gladly do it because I want to do this for the people that don't have control over their lives. Like the people in Palestine that died, 10,000 innocent people, man. Like the people who are in situations like they're young and they have abusive parents and things like this. Like I want to do this for the people that don't have control. I have control over my emotions. I have control over my life and what I want to do with it and who I have in it, all this stuff. I have control over how I feel about these things, what I'm doing right now. I don't necessarily have a large goal or I don't know what my goal is other than taking every day one step at a time right now. And I do have a goal. My goal is to start enjoying my life. And I made that decision to start that goal once I'd made the decision to love myself, because everything is a decision. It comes down to decision. You choose whatever. You choose how somebody else makes you feel. Nobody makes you feel upset. Nobody makes you angry. Nobody makes you depressed. You choose to be that way. That's just the simple truth of it. If you want to argue, you can argue with yourself because you've been losing that battle. So I'm assured you're going to lose to yourself. So you can go argue with yourself. But if you'd rather just talk to yourself and, be open, honest, and willing with yourself, you can get past yourself. So this kind of goes into what I was talking about too. This is a question. Is the road ahead of you a task? Do you see the road ahead of you as a task? That's a serious question. Think about that. Is the road ahead of you a task? Have you taken the time to appreciate and enjoy your journey? Is the road ahead of you a task, and have you taken the time to appreciate and enjoy your journey? Because that's what most of us are missing in our daily lives and why every day feels the same, every day feels like a chore, we never feel like we're getting ahead, is because we're not taking the time to appreciate every day. Because let's be absolutely real, like those 10,000 Palestinians, they'd be gone for the face of the earth without reason, other than somebody's greed, other than somebody's selfishness. It don't make sense. Is the road ahead of you a task? Because it shouldn't be. The road ahead of you should never be a task to you. It should be, you should have enjoyment. You should find joy in the path ahead of you that you set for yourself. Because if you don't find joy in it, it's just gonna make it harder. I mean, my mom's told me that for a long time. It's 30K now officially. See, I try not to even see it anymore. That's, I mean, that's enough to make you cry, to be honest. 30, 30,000 people. 30,000. This is 30,000 like innocent people. This is women and children. 30,000 for somebody's selfishness, for somebody's greed. Because there's no reason to kill 30,000 innocent people. I mean, you can have all your government conspiracies all you want, but 30K people, ceasefire now. My goodness, that's, like I said, I do these daily boosts for the people who can't, they don't have any control over their lives. They don't have any choice but to just, buck up, so to speak. They have no choice but to just, grab life by the bootstraps and, buckle in. They gotta wait till, like, either they're 18 or they gotta wait till they get off. Maybe they're disabled and they only have, somebody else to rely on. Like, you don't know what anybody's going through. And there's some people who absolutely have no control over their situation. And that's why I do this, because I have absolute control of my situation. And for the people that do have absolute control of their situations, that are depressed, that are feeling bad for themselves, I want to do this to bolster them up. So it's like, hey, wake up, man. You got all the talent in the world, you got all the willpower in the world, but you're using it to be low, to be down on yourself, to not uplift yourself. Choose, uh, don't make the road ahead of you a task. Honestly enjoy it, and that's where your day-to-day life comes in, your daily routine. Your routine has to match what you want. The seeds that you plant have to be planted in fertile soil, and you have to take care of it. And I'm sorry to tell you, but seeds that you plant are not going to grow in 2 hours. They're not going to grow in a day. They're not going to grow in a week. You might not see a sprout for your seeds for a year, maybe more. And that's just the truth of the matter. And I know that, that sucks. That sucks to hear. It sucks to have a realization of, but you gotta be open, you gotta be honest, you gotta be willing with yourself. My whole chemistry of my equation, I say chemistry, my whole equation of love, I always tell people, I say it's patience plus acceptance plus communication. That's what love is. And I urge everyone to choose to love themselves today. You might think you love yourself, but are you truly loving yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking, showers every day? Are you, taking yourself out on dates? You can take yourself out on a date. That's okay. You can take yourself out on a date. Absolutely, you can take yourself out on a date. Do that. I'm serious. Go take yourself out on a date if you need to. You don't need no man. You don't need no woman to take yourself out on a date. Take care of yourself. Give yourself, celebrate your wins. Like we talked about that yesterday. Celebrate your wins. I was very bad at celebrating my wins. I did not want to. I couldn't accept that, I didn't do what I set out to do, but I was still having, small wins. I couldn't accept that. I didn't even realize, day I can't 20 years, man. 20 years I've been like depressed, undiagnosed. And I I mean, you just see the world completely differently when you're in that, dark place, when you're in, your depression. You see the world completely differently. And it doesn't get life doesn't get easier, but it comes down to decision. Are you going to, live your life? I understand. Everybody hears, live your life to the fullest, make the most out of life, but life just realistically sucks. And life realistically sucks if you, allow it to. And life is absolutely going to hit you with curveballs and, haymakers, going to hit you with, sneak disses, so to speak. It's going to hit you. You don't, it's going to hit you. It is. But you have to give yourself the tools. You have to surround yourself with the people that are going to help you when you get knocked down, when you get hit, when you fall over and trip. You need those people around you. Start building that for yourself. Once you choose to love yourself, I promise you the right people will come. The right people will come. Start loving yourself. Stop letting other people make you believe that you got to go down this one road. Go down the road you want to go. I don't know what that looks like for you, but everybody is going down their own road. But start looking around instead of always sprinting forward towards that, that high, that finish line. Because there are no shortcuts. I know, like, a lot of celebrities, you see them and you're like, wow, like, they just got this shortcut to stardom. They can kind of do this thing and now they're up here making all this money. Why can't I do that? I want the shortcut. Sometimes you do just get lucky, so to speak. Sometimes you get the right opportunity and you run with it. And that's what a lot of these people have. Some of these people just got the right opportunity. You can, give all the conspiracy theories you want about, rituals and things like that. Maybe that stuff is, I know things like that do, do happen. But realistically, when it comes to you and yourself, you got to do your own ritual, so to speak, with yourself. Speak on your own situation because you control your own destiny. You absolutely do. Other people can do whatever and get in your way, get in your path, but ultimately you are the one who, can make sure you get to where you want to go, one way or the other. Life is what you make of it. I know you've heard that before. Life is what you make of it. Another question. Do you know and believe that you, as well as everyone else, is loved and lovable? Do you know and believe that you, as well as everyone else, is loved and lovable? Do you know that everyone deserves happiness and that you only have to choose to make it so? Do you know that everyone deserves happiness and that only and that you only have to choose to make it so? Your own happiness comes down to a choice. Because life is only you can make you happy. Only you can find your own happiness. But it starts in your day to day. And even the question I was about to ask: do you know that your happiness lives within your day to day? The journey, not the journey, and not the end goal. I'm sorry, in your day to day, which is the journey. Do you know that your happiness lives within your day to day, the journey, and not the end goal, which is the finish line? Your happiness does not lie at the finish line because a lot of you, your happiness comes from getting there first, getting there second, getting there third. You want to be top 3, top 2, top 10, top 15. You want this status number, you want this or that. Your happiness does not lie at the finish line. You can get there. You should only be worried about getting there, and that starts in your day to day. Stop worrying about if you finish first or second or third. Just focus on getting there, getting to it. Because you keep focusing on first, getting there first or second, you're never going to get there. Because realistically, I want you to understand how many humans there are in the world probably trying to do the same thing you're doing. Realistically, you will not be first. And even if you do get first, someone's going to pass you in the end anyway. Big whoop de doo. Someone's going to pass you in the end anyway. Because humans are only getting better. So I hope so, at least. I like to imagine that humans are only getting better. We might always take steps back, but who doesn't? It's called history. If you don't learn from history, you're doing to repeat it. But anyway, your happiness lives within your day to day, your routine. Make it so. You decide to be happy. You have to give yourself things to be happy. You have to find the things that give you joy. I didn't expect myself to be up here trying to, in front of a video camera, trying to explain to you guys that you're loved and lovable. You couldn't tell me 5 months ago. You couldn't pay me to believe. You can pay me $10,000 to make me believe that I would ever be in this type of position, trying to stream, trying to connect with other people through a device. I'm trying to talk to you through, the internet on here, like just completely, opening myself up and things like that, completely trying to connect with other people that, to try to not have them be in the same spot that I was and try to encourage others. You cannot tell me I would be in the spot even 5 months ago. I would not have believed you. But when I started to love myself, I ran into this community called Love in Action Network, which you can find at lovedandlovable.org. And then I started this talk show, late night football talk show with Tara Priolo, who you can find at tarapriolo.com. It was right here. She's your resident white facing biracial multi-passionate musician. She's a song coach. She has many hats. We could talk about this all day. She has many hats, but she talks about the ish that no one wants to talk about, encourages you to do the same. Also, I helped my girlfriend, Starlight Mystic, start her own business, which is doing great, to be honest. It's doing great. And you can find out more about her business at starlightmysticbotana.com. And we will also be hosting Waiting to Exhale. After she will also be co-hosting Waiting to Exhale with one of our another member of Love in Action Network, who is Poppy Water, which you can find at PoppyWater33 on X or any social media platform. Starlight Mystic on X is Starlight Mystic with a K. There is no space or anything like that. It's just Starlight Mystic with a K. On TikTok, her TikTok and Instagram are on her site too, which is at starlightmysticbotanica.com again. They're hosting Waiting to Exhale right after the Daily Boost, which they'll be hosting it at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern Time. So that's going to be happening in 40 minutes. Yeah, it's going to be happening 40 minutes. So I probably won't stream the game. I might stream the game after, after game night. Yeah, I'll stream it late at night. I think that's a good idea. Stream Dead Space late at night. That sounds great. I got work tomorrow, but I don't really do anything on the weekends with my job, so it's okay. But I ran into a community called Love in Action Network. Long story short, kind of short, and I just found this was right around the time I started to love myself and try to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, because I've always tried to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I was always what was me about it, and I was always searching for my purpose, my motivation, my passion. And so that made me, to be honest, loving myself has made me open enough to try different things and do them gladly. The Daily Boost thing, Andre at Andre in the Flow, Dr. Flow was doing, our CEO, he was doing this by himself, Sunday through Saturday, Daily Boost on top of everything else he does, which is, helping other people, life coaching, vocal coaching, setting up his own his own concert, which he calls the Love Experience, which he sings, all kinds of songs from gospel. I believe they're mostly gospel songs, but from gospel to just uplifting songs. He has a lot of uplifting songs. He's damn good at what he does. Everyone in Love in Action Network is damn good at what they do. I just feel like the confidence for Love in Action Network as a whole, including me, has now just started to begin to sprout. And for Andre, that took, yeah, I think he said like 4 or 5 years. For me, I walked in here, and for me, it happened in what, like three months. I don't know like the whole story and everything. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but he's allowed us, me, Starlight, his man, I would say his partner, but I don't care about the whole status quo thing. If you have a problem with, you, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not even gonna get into it because it ain't got nothing to do with me. I love everybody. That's all I'm gonna say on it. I love everybody. I'm not gonna get into that whole spiel right now. But he's allowed us. This is volunteer work. This is volunteer work, and I'm absolutely happy to do it. I never thought I'd start a whole, like, I started a whole show talking about football, late night sacks. I don't even think I saw it set the name of it, but it's called Late Night Sacks. I co-hosted with Tara Priolo, and we just have fun Tuesdays. Not many people, if anybody really comes or anything like that, but that's not going to stop us from talking about football, because sooner or later we're going to build traction on us. We're talking about the UFL, we're talking about the NFL offseason right now. It's okay. It's kind of boring stuff, to be honest. Even if you are a football fan, it's just kind of boring stuff. We're not really, you know, it's not like it's undisputed or like first take or whatever, but we're just getting better every day, and that's the thing. That's why I want to get better at my daily routine, put this into my routine, streaming and things like that, because I want to get better at that. I want to get better at doing the daily boost as well. But that's not because anybody told me to. That's just how I'm wired. I get joy out of doing work, and I take pride in the work that I do. So, but that's also why I go back to the dark place, because it's like I put so much pride in my work that when I mess up, I beat myself up over the head with it, onto my knees until I'm um to put the symbology out there, pretty much bleeding. Like I'm beating the crap out of myself over things that can easily be fixed, or that anybody has gone through trying to do what I'm trying to do. Whether it be this, whether it be school, whether it be anything, I'm not the first or last person to feel the way that I did. But when you're going through those emotions, it definitely feels like you're the only person that knows or can relate to what you're going through. And again, that's kind of one of those things that you make yourself believe, that nobody else can relate to what you're going through. Give yourself grace. Choose to love yourself and stop, being in that negative emotion. Another question. Did you know that truly loving yourself is more powerful and beneficial for you than hating anyone else? This includes yourself. And this is my last question. Did you know that truly loving yourself is more powerful and beneficial for you than hating anyone else, including yourself? If you love yourself, why are you worried about somebody else's happiness? That's why I didn't talk on the other thing with Andres, partner, his boyfriend. I don't care about none of that. Why are you worried about somebody else's happiness? Matter of fact, my mom's best friend. I don't even know like the politically correct term. I'm trying to. I feel like that's why I'm stopping here. Like I'm like, what is it? I mean, I can't think of the. Not heterosexual. That's what I'm gonna say. Not heterosexual. I do not care. I do not. I got so stuck up in like trying to correctly name it, just because I don't like to. I know about like the whole transsexual thing and everything like that. I try not to misgender people or anything like that, because that's where their happiness comes from. That's what they want to be identified as. I used to absolutely be on that train where I'm like transgender, like what are you talking about? They, she, there's only boy and girl. I definitely used to be on that train, but then over time I'm like, who cares? I was like, wait a minute, who cares? Like if that's where you get your happiness from, whatever. It's got. Now, once you start being weird about it, because I feel like that's the thing I was worried about, like men that were saying they're women trying to be weird and going to the women's bathroom and things like that. I'm like, okay, that stuff is weird, but who cares? Just mind your business. If you love yourself, why hate some? Why why put that much energy into hating somebody else or even yourself? I thought I could hate myself and love somebody else. I truly thought that. I thought I could hate myself but also love somebody else, and that's not possible to do. You can only give what you have. If you don't have love, if you don't have love for yourself, you can't give love. You will not be able to do that. I hold myself under a microscope. So what does that mean when I hold myself under a microscope and I hate myself? That means I'm holding everybody else under a microscope, ever under this sliver of like, wiggle room. And they can't mess up, or else, it's just the worst. It's the end of thing in the world. You will start reflecting, the hate that you have for yourself on other people. So one, stop saying you hate yourself. We talked about the power of words yesterday. Stop saying you hate yourself. And two, just stop hating yourself. Choose to love yourself. It's a decision. It really is. It's a decision. I got 4 minutes here. All right. I got 4 minutes. I'm not going over the 4 minutes. I got 4 minutes. All right. I got 4. Please choose to love yourself. It is infinitely more beneficial to choose to love yourself, love other people, than it is to hate somebody else, because hating somebody else takes a lot of energy. Like, why would you want to waste time hating somebody else? Want to waste your time trying to plot on somebody else's downfall? What do you get out of that? You don't get anything beneficial out of that. Some people get a high off that, or get the rocks off on stuff like that, but again, it's not doing anything for you, not anything beneficial. All you've done is try to ruin somebody else's happiness. And if that brings you happiness, you already know that you're unhappy. So why aren't you choosing to be happy, and you're choosing to, bring somebody else down because you're unhappy, or that you feel like, you're following strict rules? Because I find a lot of Christians, are very critical of people, but they have sins that they on a daily basis, or things like tattoos and things like that. People say, oh, well, blah blah blah, and go all about your sins, but have tattoos, when in the Bible it says your body is a temple and you shall not defile it, but you have tattoos. But for some reason, that's not a bigger sin than being than than liking the same sex. I don't. And in the Bible, it also says that all sin is the same. So if you believe in God or any of that, I find Christians to be like the most hypocritical in anything, because they can dish it out, but they also can't take it. It's very funny to me. But I'm not here to bash Christians, because obviously there's some Christians, there's other Christians, there's some people, then there's other people. Like, the spectrum is very wide. The spectrum is very wide. And that's okay. And that's why when I've chosen to love myself, I started to see that, it's easier for me to love other people. It's easier for me to accept other people for who they are and all their, imperfections and things like that. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. It's definitely not easy. Somebody does you wrong, or somebody does this weird thing. You're like, it's not like if if you have to defend yourself or something like that, obviously defend yourself. It's you over them. Let's be real here. You can also love somebody from a distance. I know some of us have like family members that we're supposed to love, but they keep doing stupid things, or they can't seem to learn a lesson, or they just keep, using you for this or that. I get that's hard, but also you can also love that person from a distance, with also, protecting your peace, and also, you can love them from a distance. Don't let anybody make you feel like your happiness comes second to theirs, because your happiness does not come second to anybody else's. So stop. I don't care if you have a wife and you love her dearly and you would sacrifice the world for her. Her happiness should not come before yours. If making her happy makes you happy, sure, but you better find something else that makes you happy too. Because what if worst comes to worst, she disappears from your life, and now you're so far in your feelings because you only lived for her. Now something happens to where she's gone, and now you're just without purpose, you're without nothing, and you're in this dark place. find your own happiness. You can absolutely have happiness with somebody else. I'm not telling you to run away from that, but please find happiness within yourself and for yourself. I'm over my 4 minutes. I'm done talking about the daily boost. The daily boost is over. And I'm also gonna rename this daily boost. Hopefully, I don't think I can edit it on Twitter and um, Twitter and Facebook necessarily. I might be able to edit the title, but on YouTube, I know I can. I said it was gonna be Dead Space gameplay, but I'm getting ready to exhale in like 30 minutes. So I don't want to play for 30 minutes then quit being ready to exhale. So we'll do that after the game night because we do have game night after that. Let's look at the Love and Action Network calendar. I also have Halo open because I don't think the game night's on here. But yes, Waiting to Exhale is at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern. I couldn't get the word out for a second. I thought I was gonna sneeze. Tomorrow, we end the week on the throat chakra. That'll be hosted by Tara Priolo, who again you can find on Instagram at Tara Priolo Studio. And she'll be doing the daily boost at, I believe that's 12 Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And let's look at our Halo for Love and Action Network, which you can find on our site as well, under our community tab. Not our community tab. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It's join our membership, which is right above our site. It's in yellow. It's in all caps. You click here and it's yellow. You click on that, and then you are led to join our membership, which you can find our Halo at the very first link, and then our general chat for our Telegram is the very second link, and then we have other broadcast channels over here for the Telegram. We also have a newsletter you can subscribe to. I believe you can pay for. I believe it's a paid subscription. And then you can see our coachings down here: academic coaching, vocal coaching, business coaching, spiritual coaching, and dream coaching. One of our coaches, or spiritual coaches, or dream coaches, is at Beyond the Guru. That's the casual coach, who you can find at Beyond the Guru on, I don't know if it's Twitter and TikTok, but I know it's at least TikTok. Beyond the Guru is spelled like this. I'm gonna put it up here. Beyond the Guru, BYOND THEGURU. I believe that's the casual coach's tag. And then there's also Sunflower Official, who does makeup. That is SVNFLWR Official on TikTok as well. Oh yeah, I was looking at the events. So, we already have Daily Boost that I host the Daily Boost on Thursdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Waiting to Exhale once again at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern, and that is hosted by Starlight Mystic and also Poppy Wada 33. That will be that Waiting to Exhale is always hosted in the Twitter Spaces, by the way, or X Spaces. And then right after Waiting to Exhale at 6 Eastern, it'll probably run a little bit over. It's always okay when Waiting to Exhale runs over because we're always talking about stuff. We never know how many people are gonna come and share their lives and things like that. So it always kind of runs over, kind of like how this daily boost is. But things happen. It happens like that. It's okay. We were having a game night, which is specifically called LIA Scrabble Night, right after Waiting to Exhale. And that will be on our Discord server. If you want to find out more about our Discord server, you're going to have to either, 1, join our Halo and join our membership, or 2, join our Telegram and then probably join our membership as well, which will, give you different links to our Halo, and we can direct you there if you really can't, navigate our site as well. But all in all, game night, right after Waiting to Exhale. There's no real specific time. We're planning for 6 Central Time, 7 Eastern, but it'll probably run a little over. But if you're interested in that, or interested in more events that we have coming up, I recommend, checking out lovedandlovable.org. I repeat, lovedandlovable.org. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want you all to know that you are loved and lovable. I really truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to talk about with you guys. Like I said, thank you guys for showing up here. Thank you guys for being here, popping in wherever you've done, listening to this on the podcast, listening to this later, not live. It's okay. It's okay. Um, I'm gonna stop rambling because I will just keep going and talk about nothing. But I will talk to you guys next time. Please check out our daily boost tomorrow. Like once again, Terra Priolo, 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern on Instagram at Terra Priolo Studio, who you can find all her links at terrapriolostudio.com. But I love you guys. You're all loved and lovable. I hope you've been encouraged, empowered, and equipped to know, to have that knowledge, to have that knowledge. I love you all, and I will catch you guys in the next daily boost or the next stream, which I might be holding tonight. Don't cross your fingers though. No, I'll be playing Dead Space later. But thank you so much, guys. I love you.